We're on.
Action.
Action.
Good morning, Chuck.
Good morning, John. How are you?
Well, hello, Mr. Fowler.
Yes, sir. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Acceleration.
Welcome to Acceleration. Happy to be here.
Yeah, happy to be here.
You notice Chuck and I,
Yeah,
you know.
This was not by design, just so you know.
Exactly. We shopped at the same place, and oddly,
Yeah.
we're the exact same thing today. So
that's good. What do we want to talk? We're going to talk about new merchants.
Right.
So we get asked a lot. I mean, 70 to 80% of our business, we're converting merchants over from the competition, and that's really what that's what we target.
That's the target,
That's
right?
the target. But often we get asked, what do I do with a merchant that doesn't accept credit cards? What's the process? What do we need to do? And there's a handful of things. I mean, when I go to a merchant that doesn't accept credit cards, number one, I run under the assumption that because of all the data that I've ever seen, that by accepting credit cards, what Dun & Bradstreet,
Chamber of Commerce,
Better Business Bureau,
all those guys.
All those guys say that you'll increase your business up to 40%. I mean, that's the big jump. So,
or imagine in today, we're geared to use plastic.
Yeah, right.
If you don't accept cards, obviously every business needs. I mean, you have to accept cards.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, to be competitive, I mean, you got to accept cards.
But how do you do it? Because
it's
not you're not getting statements.
Right.
Anyway.
Right.
Go ahead.
You're not getting statements, so you don't know how to base the sale. You don't know. So the first thing I always want to know when I approach a merchant that's not accepting credit cards is why not? Maybe they don't understand the value of accepting credit cards. You hear a wide variety of different reasons. Maybe they're brand new, haven't been approached, or haven't looked into it yet for some reason.
Well, and actually there are a lot. What's that? 29 million businesses in America.
Yeah.
7 million accept cards.
Right.
So what is that? 22 million businesses in America do not accept cards today. So they don't have to. They can be new, because some of them, if you're new, you got to get set up, and they just have to understand it.
Right.
But if you're not new, so which scenario are we going to run through?
Well, I think the first thing is ask them why. And I think
so am I a new business or not a new business?
Before we go down the road of a scenario, let me just when we figure out why, let me give you two things.
Okay.
Just so your mind's right about it. Because if they go, look, I've been in business a long time, I don't accept credit cards. Why not? Let's figure that out first. And let me ask you, why aren't you accepting credit cards? And then you might want to throw some facts out. Dun & Bradstreet, the Better Business Bureau, all show by accepting credit cards, you increase your business up to this. And the answer we typically get is, well, I thought it was too expensive. Okay, so immediately, now we need to start justifying for the merchant. We need to kind of show the value of accepting credit cards. And the first thing I would always ask is, what part about it did you find too expensive? And you'll see weird scenarios. You'll see, I had a scenario where a merchant one time said, well, this guy came by and he's trying to sell me a credit card terminal for $1,500. And I go, wow, that sounds expensive. So let me ask you, if I could show you something that was a little more affordable, it would make sense for you to accept credit cards then, right? And they go, yeah, that was the only thing holding me up. Great, now I've gotten to the bottom of it. If they go, well, I don't know.
And you tied them down.
And you tied them. Yeah, you can't help but tie down. So They go, well, I just don't think it's worth it. And I go down the line of questions. Go, look, let's say, the data shows that you increase your revenue up to 40%. Okay. Let me ask you, Mr. and Mrs. Merchant, and just because I want to see if it makes sense for you to accept credit cards, and I already know that it does, let me ask you, what kind of revenue do you do now without accepting credit cards?
About $15,000 a month.
Okay, so let me ask you, if I could show you a way, so if you're doing $15,000 a month, and let's take it on a low end, let's say that I can show you how to increase your revenue 20%.
Okay.
So 20% is an extra $3,000 a month. So really the question that the rationale that has to be going on right now is, if I can increase my revenues by $3,000 a month, I want to know how much does it cost me to increase those revenues by $3,000 a month. And it really depends on the merchant scenario. So we're going to ask a couple more questions. So usually when I get to this point, I go, well, let me ask you, if I could show you how to increase your revenues by $3,000 a month, that would help you, right? I mean, you're obviously interested in doing 18 instead of 15.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, now I'm going to go right into my discovery. Okay, so I'm going to start asking some questions. I'm going to go, well, let me ask you, in the questions I ask, I'm running in with a couple things that I understand is that, one, this account has to get underwritten from a bank. So I'm going to ask some kind of underwriting type questions. I want to ask how long they've been in business. And I'd write these down and put these in your arsenal to use. How long have you been in business? we want to know what kind of business it is. Obviously, if I'm in there, I can kind of surmise what it is. But let's say if it's a restaurant, do you do catering? Because maybe you have a large transaction. These are underwriting questions. What would be an average sale? I already know the monthly volume. I want to do that. And I'm always running with the idea that I want to lease them a piece of equipment. I always present lease option first. That's what I do. So
why do you want to lease equipment?
Well, there's money in leasing. And plus, if think about this. A merchant said, somebody came by here and tried to sell me a terminal for $1,500. And I can go, look, I can get you a credit card terminal for $39.95 a month. What looks better? And let me ask you this, think about that. Would you pay $39.95 a month to increase your revenues by 3,000?
How many times a day could I do that?
Well, exactly. So you got to, because think about this too, that Visa and MasterCard spend tens of millions of dollars a year in marketing. You can go anywhere on the planet and everybody on the planet recognizes the Visa and MasterCard logo. So why wouldn't you want that on your door? Why wouldn't you want that on the side of your truck? Why wouldn't you want that at your counter when someone's walking up or they're looking over at your counter with an expensive item in their hand and they're looking for the logo to make sure they can put it on their credit card? Why wouldn't you want that visibility?
Yeah. Visibility is, I know, I think about it. I go into a place because I don't know about you, but I carry very little cash today.
Well, right.
And I do want to go in. I'm not wasting my time. I'm in here to probably buy something. And if I don't see it, I don't know. And maybe I'm not confident enough to go, hey, do you accept cards?
Right, exactly. And I've heard situations where customers will walk up to the counter before they come up with their purchase and they're looking to see if they see a credit card terminal or a swiper on the side of a computer. So see, you want to be visible, okay? So, and granted, there's banking fees associated with that, but let's say my banking fees were effective rate of 5%. It's less than $200 a month to increase your revenues by 3,000. And I guarantee you, in 99.9% of a merchant scenario, any merchant would pay $200 a month to increase their revenues by 3,000.
Exactly.
Okay, because understand, everything is based on ROI, return on investment. But no one's put that together for the merchant yet. They just think, oh, they're taking my sale. They're taking a percentage of my sale. Hold on a second. The point is we want to go from here to 18,000. So obviously that money's got to come from somewhere. It takes money to make money, right? So do I put money in advertising? Okay, if I put money in a newspaper ad or a marketing ad, there's no guarantees I'm going to increase. Guarantee you, by accepting credit cards, a lot of this will shift to plastic.
Yeah.
But this is going to increase because people are going to spend more money. How many times have we've probably had more, I've had more meals with you than any other man on the planet.
Any other man on the planet.
But think about that scenario. I can't tell you how many times we've been in a restaurant and John and I we like wine and we're looking at the menu and it's kind of touch and go. You're not sure if they accept, especially when you're in Europe or somewhere like that.
Right.
You don't know if they take credit cards. Do you want to spend $200 in this bottle of wine because we've got $15 between us? So you got to understand, so we'll spend more if I can.
Absolutely.
So think of underwriting questions. Ask them how long they've been in business. It's an important thing to know because the underwriting is gonna want to know these things. Want to know what their average sale is, what kind of monthly volume they do, and I'm always presenting the lease option. So one question I ask is, leasing is based on the owner's credit. Okay, so it's hard to go, well, how's your credit? Because remember, this person may have been skeptical about accepting credit cards. So if you go in and go, how's your credit? They're going to go, oh, hold on a minute. Oh, see, now it's getting squirrely.
Yeah,
so you got to be careful how you ask it. So I go, let me ask you. So how's credit of ownership?
What do you mean?
And I go, well, you're the owner, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay, and your credit's okay?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. The reason why I want to know that is because this $39.95 a month, if they go, hey, look, in sidebar here, is a lot of merchants won't get set up to accept credit cards because they may have had credit issues in the past and they're afraid to apply. So let's change the scenario.
Because they don't want to feel stupid.
Because they don't want to feel stupid.
Well, you know what? I went through a messy divorce, and the damn attorneys, they said, hey, don't pay anything because, so what happened was my credit's taken. I mean, I didn't bankrupt, but it took a couple of hits. Damn it, you ex-wife. You know how she,
you know how she is, dang it. Hey, you know what? Not a problem. You know what? We'll get you. I'll make sure we get you set up. Let's not worry about that. So I'm going to mental note that after my discovery. Okay. I'm going to go, okay, so there's a credit issue going on. And where the credit's really going to come into play and is on the leasing. On the accepting credit card part, unless it's a kind of a funky industry type, it's not going to be that big of an issue, but it's going to come in on leasing. So if my merchant said my credit was great, I'm going to come in at $39.95. That's great. If he says, oh man, dude, here's what happened, went through a divorce, whatever, I might come in at $44.95. I may even come in at $49.95. But it certainly looks a lot more appealing than that $1,500 a month, doesn't it?
Right, and it still doesn't add that much to the.
Right,
they get all the opportunity for $10 more a month
to increase revenue. But I'm not pitching anything yet. Okay. When you said it was too expensive, $1,500, I didn't go, hey, well, I can get you. I didn't puppy dog it. I didn't go, well, hey, I can get you this. That would help you. I keep it real general. So let me ask you. So what part accepting credit cards do you think was too expensive?
Well, it was, two things.
Okay.
One is the guy comes in for $1,500. Are you kidding me? I'm not going to lay out $1,500 to, then just to have him take 3% of all my business.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. That sounds. So what you're saying is, if I could find something that was a little more cost effective, you have a credit card, your debit card, you've used it, right?
Yeah, I use credit cards all the time.
Okay. So you're obviously in tune to the idea of it, and you know it's a good idea.
Well, yeah.
So if I could show you something that's a little more cost effective, it'd make more sense for you. That'd be something if
it makes dollars and cents, I'm all into making money.
Aren't most merchants. Okay, now that's the end of my discussion on the dollars and cents at this point. Now I'm going to do all those discovery questions that we asked about credit, ownership, how long in a business, that kind of thing. So, and I'm new. Remember, I'm new at this. So I'm going to go, you know what? Let me do this. Got all the information I need. Give me 2 minutes. I'm going to step out. I want to call my underwriter. I'm going to let him know the scenario about the divorce and the credit issue. It'll be a little trick, but we can get it done. I'm very confident we can do that. Otherwise, it won't cost you a thing. Okay. So we'll get you taken care of. Let me talk to my underwriter. So I'm going to step out a minute. I'm going to call my agent director because I'm new. It's like my first or second deal, or it's my first new merchant deal.
Right.
And I'm going to go, look, here's the scenario. Okay. And I'm going to practice with my agent director saying this out. And then when I come back, this is, I don't know. I mean, you've heard me say this. I don't know how many times.
A lot.
Okay. So this is exactly how I presented to a new merchant. I go, all right, you know what, Mr. Mrs. Merchant, I talked to my underwriter. I'm real confident we can get you something that's going to make total dollars and cents for you. Now, basically, there's two sides to accepting credit cards. There's an equipment side, and then there's the bank relationship side. Now, as far as equipment goes, I mean, you probably want something that's simple, swipe the card, print out a receipt, something that's certainly not $1,500, but easy to use so you can start making money with it and processing transactions.
Yeah, I don't want a big learning curve, man. I've got enough,
I got it. Yeah. Definitely. I completely understand, because I can actually get you a terminal printer. It's only $49.95 a month. And then what I need to do is I need to set up the bank relationship side. Now to set it up, it's $9 to set it up. Okay. But if I can't get you approved due to credit issues or whatever, I'll refund that. Don't worry about that. And then to be online with the bank, it's $9.95 a month plus usage. Okay. Usage is going to be under 2% and 25 cents a transaction. All I need to do now is let me grab some real basic company information that can get you going. So what's the legal name of the business?
ABC.
Whatever.
Inc.
Okay. Couple things. Let me dissect this to kind of tell you what went on here. Okay. Number one, I didn't ask for approval on the equipment. Okay. I know $49.95 a month is a lot better than $1,500 cash outlay up front. John was nodding. I didn't need to address it. And then I immediately went two sides. First, I went two sides, so I separated them.
So before we get away from the equipment, because you said, go through that just a little slower, would you?
Okay.
Because do that again, because they're just slower, so I make sure I understand.
Okay. So my initial, hey, you know what? Good stuff. Talk to my underwriter. We can get you going.
Because before that, when he took a break, I'm human. And I go, man, I hope I qualify.
Right.
Because I want now to be able to qualify. I don't want to not be able to qualify.
Right.
I want to be able. So I'm kind of hopeful that he comes back with good news.
Right.
And so now he comes back with
hey, I got great news.
And I feel like, oh, good. I feel a little relief.
Yeah. So now I'm coming into this. Talk to the underwriters. Real confident we're going to get you squared away. Now we can start working on generating more revenue in your business. Basically, there's two sides to accepting credit cards. There's an equipment side, and then there's the bank relationship side. Okay, I want to separate those so they understand here. As far as the equipment goes, Now, this is where a lot of people think they need to know. And look, I've probably sold, I don't know how many I've sold. I can't even count them.
Let's say 1,000.
Okay, 1,000.
It's 1,000 total deals.
Okay, 1,000 total deals. Let's say 60 to 70% of them, I got maybe more new equipment. Okay. Out of those, I never, ever talked about the model number. It didn't matter.
No.
It doesn't matter.
Like what kind of equipment is it?
No.
Yeah, so many people think that I need to know everything about every kind of piece of equipment.
It didn't matter.
Yeah.
Because notice how I presented it too. And I get this a lot. They go, well, what model number is that? What is that? Because what they're doing is they're selling equipment. I'm selling relationship. I'm selling concepts of accepting credit cards.
You're selling cash flow.
I'm selling cash flow, right?
You're selling money.
That's what I sell. I don't sell equipment. I sell this. And selling this is much, much easier. It takes a little more skill set, but it's much easier. So I don't need to know, because you know what I call it? It's a terminal printer.
Right.
That's all that matters. They don't need to know anything fancy. This is a new
And really, they don't care.
No, they don't care.
They really don't care. No. It's not like, well, you know what? It's not like buying a car, for crying out loud. It's like, and it's not like, well, I'm going to go to the Apple store and make sure that I have the right. It's not. You're selling money, and this is the one. If you're really acting like a consultant, aren't you?
Right.
You're a cash flow consultant. You know, if you're an equipment salesman, like most of your competition,
right?
You know, you're not. Man, you're selling you're selling money. You're selling cash flow. The terminal, it doesn't matter what it is. It matters what it does.
And what it does, runs transactions, increases revenue. Who freaking cares? You're a brand new merchant, you know nothing about accepting credit cards anyway.
And we're going to get them the right thing.
Well, of course, yeah. So we're always going to get them the top line stuff. So
exactly.
Don't worry about that. But that's not the basis of my sale. So when I approach that, there's two sides to accepting credit cards. There's an equipment side, and then there's the bank relationship side. Now, as far as the equipment side goes, now you want something simple, right? I mean, obviously, it's.
I don't need a big learning curve. I've got so much on my plate.
Terminal, something prints out.
Something easy, man, like you see at every other place.
You know what? Perfect, no problem. I can actually get you a terminal printer. It's only $49.95 a month.
Okay.
And then what I need to do is I need to establish the bank relationship side. So pause right here. When I go, you want something simple, right? And he goes, yes. And I go, something that you run the card, prints out a receipt? Yes. I'm tying down before I even tell them how much it is. Because I go, great, I can actually get you a terminal printer. It's only $49.95 a month. Then I've covered that ground. Okay, now we need to establish the bank relationship side. I'm always shooting for the $90 app because that's $90 of money that goes to me. Okay, which you multiply that times 1,000. What does that mean over the course of a handful?
It means $90,000 more in your pocket rather than somewhere else.
Exactly. So I go to establish the bank relationship side. It's $90 to set it up.
Okay.
And I do guarantee them the account. If I can't get them approved, I'll give them the $90 back. Dude, don't worry about it.
And we do that with everybody.
Yes. And it's easier to ask for that when you go, look, if I can't do it, it doesn't cost you anything. Okay. Because look, if I can't perform, you don't have to pay. So it's $90 to set it up. And then to be online with the bank, it's $9.95 a month plus usage. Okay. So I get $9.95 a month plus usage. And then what I do is I pause for a second. And when I pause for a second after I say plus usage, and the merchant goes, great. I go, okay, great. All I need to do to get the thing going for me is grab some basic company information. And then if I go, it's $9.95 a month plus usage, and I'm pausing for a second, merchants will go, well, it's $9.95 a month plus usage.
How much is usage?
You're going to get one or the other right here, but you got to let this thing unfold for you. And the reason why I do this is I'm in the residual game, and I know it's not about me, but I'm telling you this because I'm assuming that you're in the residual game too. You want to maximize your revenue on every account that you write. So what I go is $9.95 plus usage, and you go, well, how much is usage? Okay, in this scenario, it's a card swipe merchant swiping through a terminal. So I know that his rate's going to be under 2%. So I go, you know what? So how much is usage? Is that your question?
Yeah. Okay. What is usage?
It's going to be under 2% and 25 cents a transaction. All I need to do now to get everything going for you is let me grab some real basic company information. I answer it and go immediately towards the close. And when I ask for, let me grab some company information, what I do is I grab the paperwork and I go right to it. I break away, like, all right, we're getting it done now.
So you had paperwork really close at hand.
Always have paperwork in hand. When I come back to present to them, I've talked to my underwriter, I'm coming in with a full set of paperwork in my hand. And what it tells the merchant too is they're looking at the paperwork. I'm very assumptive in every sales process. And the reason why the way we do it in our methods, we can be assumptive is because initially when I said, if I could show you something, you'd have to pay $1,500, something more cost effective. If I could, would you? I did the tie down up front. And he goes, well, yeah, if it makes dollars and cents. Okay, I've already made dollars and cents for you. I don't need to go, well, do you want to move forward then? I don't have to do that. I can be very assumptive the whole way because every step of the way, if I could do this to show you how to make this, would you be interested in what, if it's cost effective? Yes. You want something that's simple, low learning curve, terminal and printer, customer sign receipt, right? That's what you want. Yes. Okay, great. The $9.95 a month plus usage. How much is usage? It's this. Oh, okay. Because this is less than that 3% he was talking about. So I can be very, you have to be assumptive. You can't go, well, do you want to move forward on that then? Or what are you thinking? I can grab some paperwork. It's in my car. Look, because you know what? It's funny is in the video we watched this morning with Art Williams, you can do 99.9 of everything of everything right, and that 0.1% that you do wrong will lose your deal for you.
And here's one of them.
Here's one of them. I've done 99% of this thing right. And the 1% of me not having the paperwork and me not going, okay, great, what's the legal name of the business? Well, botch. I've worked hard 99% of the way, and that 1% I blew it.
Well, so, and that if you don't do it like that, that will screw up 80% of your business.
It makes it way difficult because it lets doubt creep into the mind of the customer.
And then you get like, well, I really have to think about it. Well, now you've got to go back.
Now I got work.
Yeah, right.
Now it's work.
Right.
You know what I mean? Before it wasn't work. It was just, hey, a couple of guys BSing, talking about some business strategies, ideas about how to increase revenues by $3,000 a month. So in this scenario that I think we kind of gravitated to was a merchant that thought it was too expensive. You know, you're going to run into merchants that go, I just haven't gotten it set up yet. You're going to run into merchants that are hearing all kinds of funky things out in the industry.
Right.
And those kind of things you want to bring back to your agent director to help you get around them.
Right, because they've heard it before. They'll have go, oh yeah, they've seen.
Know that deal.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Here's what's going on.
Exactly.
And then they can load your lips with the little things, you know, like what you want to say in here, what you want to come back with, or maybe even a couple of options, you know, based on what the merchant has said.
Exactly. But the key to this is this piece right here is where you kind of start talking numbers. In this should not be talked about until you've done all your discovery.
Exactly.
Okay. So this is kind of the break. And what I might even do sometimes is I might even draw this out on a piece of paper for them. I won't give it to them. But I go, look, there's basically two sides. And that's why I talk a lot with my hand. I must be like half Italian. I don't know,
you're something.
I'm something. Yeah, I'm something, right. But I go, basically there's two sides to accept credit. There's an equipment side, and I'll do this just like this. Then there's the bank relationship side. Now, as far as the equipment side goes, because you need to keep it clean in the merchant's mind. Okay, because what most people try to do is they try to get it to all kind of, and it does when it works. Yep. It's dovetailing behind the scenes, but they need clarity because if they're not clear, they're not going to buy. Okay, so we want to make sure they understand there's equipment side, then there's a bank relationship side. As far as the equipment side goes, you want something simple, right? You just swipe a card, print out a receipt, customer signs, turns black to cash, your plastic to cash, you're good to go, right? Yes, great. I can get you a terminal printer. It's $49.95 a month. Then we have the bank relationship side. It's $90 to set it up. And when I say it, I go $90 to set it up. And then I kind of come down. But I do guarantee the account. If I can't get you approved, that's refundable. So don't worry about that. Okay. It's $90 to set it up. It's $9.95 a month plus usage. Pause. What's going on? It's super agreeable. Go right into it. And even when it's super agreeable, I go, it's $9.95 a month plus usage. And all I need to do now to get the wheels going for you is let me grab some real basic company information. And sometimes right there, I know one or two things are going to happen. He's either going to go ABC Incorporated, or he's going to go, well, how much is usage? I know this already. I know it before it even goes down. I knew it when I walked in. You had me at hello. You know, I knew it right away. So right here, I'm anticipating, usage, it's going to be under 2% and 25 cents a transaction. So is your legal name ABC Incorporated then? Oh, okay, great. Let me go. And I go right to it every time. Very assumptive. And if you do that and you follow this model, hopefully you wrote down the questions.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, how long you've been in business? What's your average sale? You know, how much volume do you do now without accepting credit cards? Wow. I would imagine that an extra $3,000 a month for you would really help you out, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would.
And they'll go, and they may go, and I'll give you one little tidbit. Yeah, tie down, you got to tie down.
Well, that's what we just did. I would imagine that would be really helpful, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and I'm not.
So there's a tie down. So if we could get you all that blah, 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 that would be good for you, right? You've got like bam, bam, 2 tie downs.
What a lot of people ask right here, when you go down Bradstreet, the Better Business Bureau, the Chamber of Commerce, all show by accepting credit cards, businesses increase revenue up to 40%. So let's cut it in half. Let's say it's 20. That's what I do. I say it like this. And they go, well, how would that increase? I mean, I don't understand. Connect the little dots for them in there and go, look, well, a couple things. Number one, if you don't accept credit cards, you only have access to the cash that they have in their pocket. Okay. And then I tell a story. Like I told the story about us going out to eat, $15 between us. Tell a story. Look, I mean, look, I don't know. I've got $11 in my pocket today. Is this all you want from me as your customer? So if you can increase, and I might even ask, what's your average customer bring into the store revenue wise? And they may go, well, my average customer spends $100 here. So if I could show, and how many customers do you have if that's the case, right? So if I can show you how to get, instead of 100, did I say 100? Yeah, I said 100, right? Instead of 100, how can I get 110 out of each customer on average? Okay, so 100 customers here is how many? It's quite a few. So add 10 more to each one of those customers. We're there. So you got to relate it to them and get them thinking about it. Plus, talk about how advertising, be visible. Look, we give them decals in their welcome kit. It gives them a sticker they can put on the window. They can put next to their credit card or their cash machine or their,
stick them all over the store.
Stick them everywhere, darn it. So
you see guys run around with vans with the logos on. It's like you said. Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover. I mean, you can't not see their commercials. You can't not. They spend so much money to help you make more money. Right. It's there's a lot, and there's money in, they do that because then they make a lot of money, and so can you, because now you're in this business where the stuff that you sell spends millions of dollars in advertising.
And it shows credibility.
Huge credibility.
When you accept credit cards, you're more credible as a merchant.
Absolutely. And the same people that have done the studies about increased revenue have done studies on credibility too. Remember Yellow Pages? Yeah. I remember the classic study was that open Yellow Pages and they just asked people blindly, not knowing anything about any of these, which one do you choose? And they always, way more often than not, they chose the ones with the credit card logos. Under plumbing or something. People just, it's more credible. They see it's more convenient. It's all the reasons. And if you're not retail, if you don't have people coming into your store, you look at most every business that's anything, even universities, if they're going to buy something in their procurement department, people use Visa cards. And because it's easier, it's just an easier transaction. It makes
EBT. Social Security, EBT, things are going on credit card now, so we're becoming more and more cashless. Excuse me, becoming more and more cashless. So
and you get points, and and it's just, if you don't accept cards, you're just shooting yourself in the foot. I mean, we don't have to, but you brought up the point. Well, how do I know it's going to increase? Right. Well, you look at all these. Look at it. I love the point that you made earlier. You go, well, do you use credit cards yourself? Yeah. And if the man or woman goes, well, of course I do.
You got them.
Then you go, well, why? Right. And you can bring that up. Well, you use credit cards, right? Yeah. Why? Well, because, and then you go, well, don't you think you should offer the same opportunity to your clients?
Exactly.
Yeah, I should. What's the name of your business?
Exactly.
What's the legal name of your business?
Use those tools. Use those tie downs, use those analogies, tell the story, use the process. You got to do the process. Ask all the questions first. Don't even get into this until you talk to your agent director. After a while, you'll know. Yeah. And then it's all you. But follow this process. You write a lot of those new merchants. Love writing new merchants. Leasing is big revenue. Yeah. Leasing.
This is where you make money.
This is where you make money. Yeah.
On your lease, because let's just for fun. Yeah. When you're leasing at this or where was our money or over here. How much are you going to make doing that?
$400 to $500.
Yeah, and you're going to make $400 to $500 plus your 90.
Plus your 90.
So you're going to make $490 to $590, right? $490 to $590. So $500 to $600
up front. And this turning into the average merchant, which is going to be worth about $40 a month.
Exactly.
So this is this is how I look at it. I go, so if I can make $500 to $600 up front and $40 a month on this account, I mean, I'll do those all day long.
Right.
What do I
have?
did.
You wrote about 1,000 of them.
Yeah. So, I mean, run the numbers on that business. So, I mean, but follow this and make it real easy for yourself and
make it easy.
Yeah, make it easy.
Yeah.
So
let's go do a whole bunch. Good job.
Thanks, buddy. Thank you.